Hi everybody, welcome to class. It's Mark and welcome to the second 8 weeks of the spring 2022 semester. I'm excited to be working with each of you. I decided to record this initial video just so I can give you a couple of tips about how the course works and what we will be covering. We do start off with a little bit of a slow start, and that's because I want everyone to get accustomed to me and to how the course works, but I do want to cover a couple of important things that are located within the syllabus. So let's navigate over to there, and I'll show you a couple things you need to pay attention to. The first, and maybe the most important one, is my phone number. The best way to stay in touch with me throughout the course of this semester is by texting me. That's my personal cell phone number. You are welcome to text me at any time. As you read through the syllabus, you'll see that we do have course messages, and of course my email address is also there. But if you have a question about an assignment or you just want to chat, the best way to get in touch with me is to send a text to that number. And if you'd like, you can text me and just say hi at the beginning of the class so I can hang on to your number. The one thing I do ask is this is not the only course that I'm teaching, so when you send me a text, even if it's the 4th or 5th time that you've done so, always tell me your name. Just that way I won't get you mixed up with another student and give you a dumb answer. Your book is included within the course. I always get a question or two at the beginning of the semester of what book do I need to buy? You don't need to buy anything. It's already included. We are working around a closed research theme, and that will become a little more apparent as we get a little further into the course. But essentially, all the papers that you will be writing are based around the same theme. You get the opportunity to pick whatever writer you would like to comment upon, but you don't have to pick what you're going to write about. And it's also important that when you select which writer you find most interesting, it's something you can stick with for the rest of the 8 weeks because you are kind of bound to that. If you find one you think you like and later on it turns out not to be so good, well, that puts you in a tough spot. So make sure that you choose carefully. A couple of important dates are in here as well. This is all strictly online. You are never required to come to campus for anything. I guess you could show up if you'd like to, but I won't be there, so why bother? As I mentioned, this is an 8-week course, and the way this will work is that all of our modules, there are 8, it's 8 weeks, will begin on Wednesday, and your work will be due to be turned in the following Tuesday. So, for example, for this first week in Module 1, we're beginning on March 23rd, and all of your work will be due on March 29th. Gives you a nice amount of time to get everything completed. I'm not going to go through everything within the syllabus because I know you're going to read it later, but a couple of other things that I think are important. If for whatever reason things aren't working out, you don't turn in any work, by March 30th, you will be dropped from the course. That's not my rule, that's Ivy Tech's rule. So you have to turn in at least one graded assignment by March 30th. Now, obviously, I'd rather you turn in all of your graded assignments, but at least one, or you will be dropped from the course. The last day to withdraw from the course is May 3rd. Now, our course will actually end on May 17th, but that is the last day to get out. I realize life happens sometimes. For whatever reason, it's just not working out. You have until that time to withdraw. This is also important. I realize people are coming from a variety of backgrounds, but this particular course is going to use APA style only. Some of you may be more familiar with MLA. They're two competing styles, but in this course, because that is the majority of what the courses at Ivy Tech use, we're going to use APA. If you're not familiar with it, reach out to me, by text, and we'll talk you through it. And let's see. If you have an IEP, please reach out to me, again, by text if you can, and we'll talk it through. If you don't know what an IEP is, then you probably don't have one. All right, so let's navigate over to the first module and just take a peek at what it is that you have to do to get the course started. Waiting for my computer to catch up. By the way, before I get to the first module, I did mention that this is based on a closed research theme, which is how do our food choices affect society? How do food policies affect us? And you'll notice that there are a number of articles listed here. Some of them are in green, which means they're available to you. Some of them are grayed out, which means you won't see them because I didn't want to give you an overwhelming number of choices. When we get to the first module and you're asked to select which one you're going to write about, here's my advice to you. Pick any of these in any order and give it a very quick skim, in quotes, read. If you like the article, keep reading. If after the first paragraph you think this doesn't really resonate with me, then skip the rest of it and go on to the next one and repeat that process until you find somebody's perspective that you think you find interesting. It doesn't mean that you necessarily have to agree with them. You might completely disagree, which of course makes it more interesting, but it does have to be something you feel comfortable writing about through the rest of the 8 weeks. Now, on to Module 1, and that's all we're going to talk about in this video because I want to try and keep these short. Course orientation, well, we're kind of going through that now. Read the syllabus, of course. Take notes if you think. That's important. Make your introductions. Introductions are not graded, but that doesn't mean that they're not important. It is important for me to know where you're coming from. Are you a high school student who is taking some courses to get some college credits out of the way before you graduate from high school? I need to know that. Are you a traditional college student, meaning 18 to 22 years old, you plan to finish your 2 years here and then go on to a 4-year institution? I need to know that. Are you a non-traditional student, somebody who maybe is trying to add some credits and you're already in the workforce, or you're transitioning from one job to another and you want to add to your education? Again, I need to know that because I want to be able to meet you where you are. So, not graded, but still important. Information about course navigation, navigating the modules, accessing the textbooks. Again, the textbooks are included. This will tell you how to find them. And overview, writing as a conversation, entering the conversation. Module 1 tutorial, they say, I say. These little tutorials, which are graded, are what I call the small assignments, meaning they don't take a lot of time. They're not terribly difficult. If you review the material, then you're going to do just fine. I understand there's a lot of apprehension with the writing projects because they are worth the majority of the points and they get progressively more difficult or more challenging as the course goes on. My point is, don't overlook the small assignments. If you get all the points that are possible on those, and maybe you didn't do as well as you thought you could have on a writing assignment, those small assignments will help balance out that grade. So please don't overlook those. There is a second tutorial on They Say, I Say, which again is the text. There is a slideshow rhetorically describing a text. It's self-explanatory. You will look through some images and follow the prompts. Again, it's a small assignment. Getting familiar with the course and closed research theme, and then your conversation about the writing process and the closed research theme. Last thing listed here is introductory live meeting. I do plan to do one. It probably isn't going to be in Module 1. It's more likely to be in Module 2 because I think that's when it's going to be more effective, because in Module 1 we're kind of feeling our way around. Again, I'm trying to keep these short, but I do want to leave you with this. Remember, this is an 8-week class. We have 8 modules. We complete 1 per week. For Module 1, you're going to start on the 23rd, which is today, and you're going to complete all your work by the 29th. And we will follow that pattern. Class opens on a Wednesday. Your work is due by the following Tuesday. It's pretty easy to follow. And I have updated all of the course assignments, discussions, and writing prompts in the course calendar. You can refer to that anytime. I'm looking forward to working with everybody. Again, the best way to navigate through this course and be successful is to stay in contact with me. I'm available anytime. Text me whenever you'd like. 498-4200. I'll respond to you as quickly as I can. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you in class.